we have gotten word from the producers that the teams are ready to go. So we are going to head over to the game to Champ Select. But before we do, I just want to give a big shout out to our major sponsors, Red Bull, No Frills, and Inland AV, for making all of this possible. Let's take a second and we're going to head over and Wes is going to take over.
So we're getting right into Champ Select. I'm hoping you guys all can see this. Eventually we'll all be able to bring it up here. But we do have currently bans coming out for Casually Reformed. Zoe and Tarek have been banned out. I'll just read it off to you guys in case you haven't been able to bring it up yet. And Mordekaiser ban has come in for Team Solo Simp. And we have seen some Mordekaiser pop-offs. I'm trying to remember who it was in the past week or so who popped up. Oh, it was Casually Reformed. It was Royal on Casually Reformed, who absolutely destroyed us when we played that best of 3 against Casually Reformed there when I was subbing in. So he is a terror on that Mordekaiser. And we have a set ban coming in. The guys, let me know when you've brought this up and you're able to see it as well. But we have Zoe Tarek set ban for Casually Reformed, Mordekaiser, Silas, and Ornn, big, strong, late game power solo laners, banned in for TSS. And I will continue to read these off. Alistar is being hovered currently for Casually Reformed. Yeah, Alistar has been locked in. So that is the Zero Urge pick coming in. He we did mention that he has the Braum as kind of his signature pick and his power pick. That's what I chose for his power pick this week. But he is going with the Alistar, also able to do similar things. Tristana is being hovered for TSS. Tristana's locked in, baby. Let's go.
Come on, dum-dum. Show us what you got.
So, yeah, we're going to be looking for that. I mean, obviously, Alistar can be very strong in the early game. Tristana, though, also very strong in the early game. I've seen her almost more often as a mid laner in the last little while than an ADC, but she's very strong as both. And we have a support pick coming in. Kang, Stefano, are you guys able to see this Champ Select yet, or are you still looking for that? Great, you're able to see it.
Having a bit of trouble here.
All right, no problem.
There
you go. You got it. So Nautilus has come in for the Tristana. We got both the bot lanes picked up already. What do you think of these matchups? Alistar Lucian versus Tristana and Nautilus.
I love this bot lane just from a spectator standpoint. This is volatile in every sense of the word. This is one of those lanes where even if you have like a 2-kill advantage, the other team can still kill you. These characters have really weird power spikes. Both lanes are hyper aggressive. We're going to see some exciting stuff bot lane this game.
Yeah, I love that. There's no attempt to do any sort of protection or any sort of healing up or any of that lame stuff like that, sustain. We don't have any of that. I mean, Alistar maybe a little, but these lanes are about going in. And speaking of going in, Ekko has been locked in for Royal.
I can see Ekko. Ekko's like very interesting being the third pick because he can flex to towards the jungle or even the top lane.
Yeah.
I'm expecting this to be towards the mid lane. But I guess there's no guarantee. So it's a really smart pick before the ban phase because now TSS isn't likely to know what they're really going to be banning.
Yeah, I think there's a potential that we saw Royal targeted a little bit here. Just looking back at his match history here, Silas is his most played champion currently. And yeah, that Silas is so strong in lane. I think it's a really good. It can be a really good blind pick. There are some things that do find into it, but such a strong champion, especially against something along the lines of Nautilus, Tristana, and of course Jarvan, who we've picked up. The stronger the ultimates are, who are you playing against, the stronger you become as Silas, being able to steal those ults away. So now mid lane bans have started to arrive. Ryze banned out by Casually Reformed, and Syndra banned out by TSS. So the Aatrox as well coming out. They, like you said, not expecting that Ekko to go top lane. I think I agree with you. I would expect it to go mid, but we've seen lots of Jarvan here and such a good early game. So good in these competitive games where you're really trying to just get team synergy going. When you're really trying to get those team fights going and get early leads, Jarvan's so strong in both of those situations.
For sure. It also synergizes really well with the Nautilus. There's nothing more terrifying than being locked in Cataclysm and then have Nautilus running at you with an ultimate ready.
It's brutal.
Your whole team at that point is going to be suffering. TSS really looking at an engage heavy team comp. Orianna, oh, there's the Wombo.
Yeah. Oh, man. This is terrifying right now from TSS. They've got Jarvan, Nautilus, Orianna with Tristana just pew-pewing in the back there. So, yeah, do not want to get locked into that combo. And Ekko, of course, good to deal with this. Alistar as well. Alistar's so good. One of the strongest champions in the entire game at, peel and disengage in order to protect this Lucian who wants to scale up here. Grim going to be playing that. So, yeah, like you said, Orianna locked in. What do you think, Kang, of the Orianna versus Ekko matchup there? If that does end up being the Ekko mid lane, who do you think has the advantage there? Oh, you know what?
Ooh.
Forget I said it because Lissandra's just been locked in. So maybe we want to talk about that matchup instead.
All right. Well, I think if it does end up being the Ekko Orianna matchup, that Orianna definitely has a lot of wave clear. A lot more wave clear rather than Ekko. So early on, she'll be able to get those crucial wave advantages and shove into tower so that they can get either neutral objective should the Jarvan decide to go for one.
I think now it is going to be Lissandra versus Orianna, a much safer lane there in the mid lane. And we now have the full team comp here for Casually Reformed. So we've got Sion, Lissandra, Ekko, Lucian, and Alistar.
It's got to be an Ekko jungle, right?
Yeah, it has to be. No, unless if they're going to go for some sort of inting Sion jungle, which I mean, I would love to see it, but Trundle coming in, and so that's a response to what they expect to be a Sion top lane. Trundle's so good into those big beefy tanks and really able to shut them down, especially in the late game. No slouch in the early game laning phase either, honestly. So yeah, I like TSS's comp. I think they sort of made Casually Reformed react to them. Like I think they really took the initiative and they're like, this is our game plan. You have to answer this. And so I think I really like what Casually Reformed or what TSS has done to they sort of, they took over this champ select and they made it theirs, where Casually Reformed is just reacting.
It's interesting. Both teams have such a huge engage on their team. It looks like both teams are looking to literally just run at the enemy the whole time. Use all your abilities, get them locked in the middle and just blow them down with AoE damage and AoE CC.
Yeah. This is kind of what happens. And, having been, having joined one of these teams for a little bit and kind of hearing their communication, it's really interesting kind of what happens in the communication and how you determine at this level of play like what to do for champ select. But I like TSS. I like how they're really focused as opposed to just like, okay, so we want to get a lane counter, that's coming in, okay, so now we want to do this, changing the game plan. TSS clearly has a very focused game plan, and I like that. I like that they've got lots of ways to engage. They've got the Jarvan, they've got the Nautilus, they have Orianna, and they had a plan coming into this and they executed it. And I think there's definitely a good chance they're going to come up better for it.
So we haven't seen much from any of these teams as of yet, as this is just week 3 and only 2 teams play each week. But I'm just looking at some of the solo queue records here and just looking at the ADC matchup. If I am correct, yes, Grim is on ADC for Casually Reformed, and he is playing Lucian, who is his most experienced ADC. Now, we've seen iDumDum on Tristana, and I'm just like obsessed with this because he just like completely popped off. How much do you think does it take into account in a matchup like that if you're looking at just 2 players both playing bot ADC? Someone that they're very comfortable on, like Grim is very comfortable on the Lucian, and iDumDum obviously can perform on the Tristana, but maybe not as much experience. Stefano, what do you think we'll see from this?
Specifically for the bot lane, both AD carries being on a comfort pick is very, very, very very huge when you have such like aggressive, volatile lanes like this. That being said, I would say that the focus almost is more on the supports for the laning phase. That is late game. It's going to absolutely be on Grim and iDumDum to carry. But early game with the Alistar, with the Nautilus, it's going to revolve around them. And more importantly, and I don't mean to throw AD carries under the bus here, rather, but how well the AD carries cannot mess up and just die for no reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Wes, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, as much as I like that they're both on comfort picks and also high skill cap champions like Lucian and Tristana, this lane's just got to be all about the support and jungle combo, man. Like that Jarvan, so volatile in the early game, so much potential to just snowball a lane. And like you say, what I think we want to look for in these ADCs is their ability to continue to output damage as much as they can while staying safe, because you got look at how much tankiness is on both of these teams. It's going to be, especially in the late game, it's really going to be up to Lucian and Tristana, respectively, to apply damage and to actually start to get it to that point where how the health bars are starting to go down. Okay, he's starting to get his rage blade stacked up or whatever it is, and give his team the confidence where it's like, okay, now we can really go with this engage. Because as you said, Steph, both of these teams have high engage compositions. Lissandra, Sion, no slouches in that department either. So it's about getting the confidence, getting enough damage down over the course of a team fight while staying safe to really put your team in the position where they can start a fight. And so that's what I'm really wanting to see, is how they perform in those team fights and how they perform in terms of DPS, straight up DPS. We talk about it a lot. We say that term, damage per second, sort of as it's thrown out there, but it really does apply so specifically in this situation. How much damage per second can you get onto these enemy teams or these enemy tanks who are going to take a lot of damage, and it's going to take a lot of seconds for anybody to go down here. So
yeah, and I mean, when you're looking at Tristana just as a champion, notoriously good at cutting down tanks. And you have the Trundle taking those stats away as well. It'll be really interesting as we get to late game. I want to take a quick look actually at the top lane for a second, because our other player to watch is Blitzblades, 63 on TSS. Now his power pick was set. Now set was banned out. He is rolling that Trundle. What are we expecting? Some flashy Trundle plays, Kang, or I guess Trundle's not particularly flashy, but what do we want to see from him this game?
Yeah, definitely the Trundle pick, very good into Casually Reformed's team composition. They want to have those beefy tanks in front of Lucian so that he's able to kite around the team fights without much problem at all. The problem is Trundle steals resistances, so it makes it a lot easier for Team Solo Simp to cut down those tanks and get to that backline.
Can somebody? I'm just gonna out myself here and ask the stream, or ask the group here. What is the interact? Can you tell me about the interaction between Trundle's ultimate and Alistar's ultimate? Does he steal all of those resistances that Alistar gains?
He does not, although it should be noted in this game, especially with the Lissandra as well, is that he does take the Aftershock resistances.
That's
which
right.
Is
yeah.
really, really big. Aftershock on Alistar normally gives him 70, 80 armor, and with Lissandra, that's all her tanky stats. So the Trundle pick, really, really smart into not only the Sion, but the Lissandra and Alistar as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's great. I'm glad somebody knew what that interaction looked like. But yeah, no, the Trundle definitely going to be critical into this team composition.
Well, I just realized as well that Trundle is really good against in with the Sion, because Sion tries to ult away, just pillar in front of him, really, right? I mean, it's a
that's true.
Great counter if it comes to that, right? Because I mean, we've all played so many solo queue games where you're like, you got the Sion down to nothing, and he just suddenly just like puts his head down and charges back home. Maybe the Trundle can stop that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, looks like the game is loading in, so we should be getting to the live action soon. Any other predictions here, gents? You guys want to?
I think Casually Reformed is going to win.
Ooh.
You got it. Okay, Wes, you disagree or what?
I'm going for Team Solo Simp, man. I love their draft. I think also as well they're a little bit more tested, as I mentioned. I've liked what I've seen from them so far, and yeah, no, I'm going with Team Solo Simp.
How about you, Stefano?
I'm gonna have to agree with Kang here. I gotta give it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Wes. I gotta give it to Casually Reformed. Most important, I think it's really on zero urge to carry. Both teams have a huge reliance on vision control in order to get these engages, to get the Lissandra flank, to get the Alistar, to get the Ekko flank. So if Zero Urge has a huge edge, he plays a lot of support exclusively. In comparison to the support for Team Solo Simp isn't actually a support main, so I'm gonna go with Casually Reformed on this one.
All right, Amateur Night, gentlemen. We have on the blue side Casually Reformed, Sion in the top lane, JaDe at the jungle, Royal in the mid lane, and in the bot lane we got Grim and Zero Urge.
And for the side of Team Solo Simp, we got Blitzblade in the top lane, Hypoconic in jungle, Wheelie in the mid lane, iDumDum for the bot lane, and VirtualBoxs in support.
I just want to mention one more time, we briefly mentioned it, but TSS is having a substitution in this game. We talked up iDumDum a lot. We love to say his name. We love to watch him play Tristana, but he is the substitute, and Wheelie29 actually is the official, the starting bot laner for TSS. Revivination had some internet issues earlier today. We're all dealing with more issues than usual with connections and with, making sure everything's good to go. So he is going to play the second game, but he was not available for the first game. So, and if we go to a game 3, I'm assuming Revivination will play in the mid lane that game as well. So, yeah, excited to see what we got going here.
Interesting start by VirtualBoxs, electing to go with the non-support item.
Non-item at all.
Early with the gold lead.
So for all you non-support mains, such as VirtualBoxs, you are supposed to buy items at the beginning of the game. I know it's foreign concept, I'm sure, but yes.
Hang on, Steph. Maybe he's just saving up so that he can buy an early Giants belt. No, my my soapboxing has run out. It is not happening. He just forgot to buy an item, and we'll see what they can do. Yeah, it's actually a really big deal for him to not have an item in particular, because he's supposed to be finishing off those minions and making sure iDumDum doesn't miss any CS, which is difficult for Tristana in the early game. You can see him missing a few already, which he may not have had to miss. What's difficult about Tristana, of course, is that when you have the explosive shot, I should say, leveled up, then whenever you kill a minion, it does AoE damage. It makes it much more difficult to get the last hit and get that gold for any other minions. So
sorry, Wes. Not only that, as a support main myself, not getting that item means less healing in the lane, but then beyond that, it's going to take him so long to stack it up and get those wards. So the vision game is really affected by him not having that item.
You gotta wonder if it would have been worth it for him to just go back, and now he does. There he goes. Yeah. So that's an unforced error there from VirtualBoxs, and we'll see what they can do to recover from that. But luckily, you've seen Grim miss a few as well, so they still stayed relatively even in CS. The only thing is, Alistar does have that 5 CS difference as we see a gank coming in. The flash comes in from Wheelie, so JaDe not able to get a kill there, but definitely a successful gank, I would say.
Smart focusing on the mid lane. Flashless Orianna, even with the cleanse, is going to be really hard to escape from ganks. Like, yeah, you can cleanse the Lissandra root maybe, but then you still have a bunch of slows coming at you on top of the Ekko W, which is very hard to get out of front of a mobile champion like Orianna. Very smart play. I'm hoping for another repeat gank pretty soon.
Yeah, we're always hoping for that. That's one of those things that we've said over and over again is, okay, you got the flash. Now get back there and get that kill, because that is exactly what you need to do. Wheelie29 has already showed in the past he is strong in this mid lane, even though bot lane is his main role. And so, you know, being able to shut him down, especially on someone like that Orianna, who can have so much effect in the late game, being able to slow down his effect on the game is going to be so useful. Now we do see a little bit of an engagement here between the two junglers. Hypoconic going to flag and drag away from that, does dodge the knockup. Blitzblade's going in to apply some damage. They're all quite high on HP, but they are going to go after JaDe, who only has the red buff. He does use his E to get away, and he will get away. Royal coming in for the repeat gank, but he will not get anything except a pink ward for his troubles. Control ward, I should say. I'm stuck in Season 5, apparently. But,
Aren't we all?
Lissandra did roam down there, and is going to sacrifice a wave for that, so we'll see how that affects things.
I still call them pinks, by the way.
I think a lot of us do. Yeah.
Lissandra roam, although it didn't amount to much, was a direct result of the pressure that they got mid lane from the gank early. You just shows how even the kind of smallish plays that maybe the gank didn't result in a kill, but that got the pressure for Lissandra to roam. And in future, Lissandra's going to be able to push up aggressively where Orianna's not and be able to roam.
Yeah, definitely exactly what you say. The strength of having that option for the Lissandra, who is a very powerful ganker with all the crowd control she can apply, and with her mobility. Definitely having that opportunity and having kind of the threat of that is valuable in itself. So the Infernal Drake has spawned. We do see Hypoconic here farming up the bottom jungle. He is looking for a gank. He's biding his time here. Looks like he's about to go over the wall. And will they be able to make this happen? He's just waiting so patiently. Here he goes in, takes the blast cone over, flash in from VirtualBoxs, gets the hook down onto the ADC, and he flashes away. A lot of damage has gone down, and looks like Zero are just going to tank up the rest. They go after him, and Wheelie has showed up as well, but he's also not able to get anything done there. So they did get the flash out of Lucian, useful there, but still no kills for either team.
Very well played by the bot lane of Casually Reformed. They got 4-manned at like 6 minutes in, and all they had to blow was the summoners on the Lucian. Alistar still has both of his summoners, which is huge for the engages for big teamfight teams like both of these. And for
Steel coming in. Oh, Jarvan gets it. But actually, Hypoconic now has been stunned up. He's totally dead. That's 3, and the answer to that roam comes in. I totally agree with what you were saying. Good job from Casually Reformed, and they managed to use that advantage they got to leverage it into a kill on the jungler, and they're going to get a dragon for free. Sorry to interrupt you there, Stefano, but this is a direct result of exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah,
so there you go.
No, you're completely right. Having the Alistar with the suns allows you to go for more plays. Plus, you have the Lissandra roam from the pressure early on. Really smart and well played early game by Casually Reformed.
Yeah, and Royal has given up a few CS, but you've seen the strength of him before when he was playing on that big carry Mordekaiser. Now Lissandra, a little bit more of a control-oriented champion there, more so enabling his team to get things done. And you can see he is just as comfortable on that kind of champion. So excited to see what Royal has to bring. He's definitely looked like their star player so far from what I've seen from Casually Reformed. And let me tell you, he was not fun to play against as Mordekaiser either. So this guy is scary, and we need to watch out for him. Trades coming in. As expected, Sion definitely getting the better of trades early game against the Trundle. Using that knock-up to zone him away, but managing to stay relatively even in farm. We do have JaDe with a 10 CS lead, and also even in the bot lane. So the main difference there is that mid lane farm difference, and Lissandra has more than made up for that. Royal has with his roams and with his presence on the map.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've been very impressed with Royal. Royal seems to be everywhere this game. He's gone 3 ganks off, or 2 ganks off rather, before 10 minutes. Creating a lot of pressure for his team. You saw most of laning phase. Team Solo Simp's bot lane seems to be all the way back at tower, just trying to avoid any form of possible Lissandra ganks whenever he goes Mia. It's playing incredibly well.
Yeah, they have to always be thinking about that. You do see Blitzblade's getting the better of Sion in that engagement. Did manage to blow his flash, actually. So nice job from him there. And yeah, we'll see what Royal can make of this early game presence. And as you say, he's managed to gank 2 lanes, hasn't even had to use his teleport yet. So still has that available. We'll see if any deep wards go down into the bushes in the side lane so that he can make a gank happen there as the Rift Herald, the next objective that has appeared on the map, and we'll see who goes for that. Both junglers now hanging around that area. Would you go for this, Kang, right now if you're Hypoconic? Would you try for that Rift Herald?
Yeah, I definitely would.
Yeah.
He does have red buff.
Oh, and that teleport actually comes in from Sion. Now is a good time to get that Rift Herald as iDumDum and VirtualBoxs look like they're both going to go down. Another 4-man gank from Casually Reformed. Beautiful coordination. Hypoconic has to take this Rift Herald as a consolation prize as they kill them both. And you can see the Tristana summoners both blown for naught there. And so beautiful play there again by Casually Reformed. Will manage to get this Rift Herald here. We'll see if they can leverage that into some gold from the plates, but yeah, Hypoconic taking that down. JaDe not able to contest. So nice from Casually Reformed. I love this coordination that they've got in the bot lane. They're bullying out this bot lane of TSS and doing such a great job of it.
Yeah, I do want to say it was a huge misplay by the bot lane of Team Solo Simp, but as I'm saying that now, they seem
Here's
to be
another
going
engage.
aggressive.
It looks like they may be able to disengage here. A lot of damage going down onto Zero Urge, and VirtualBoxs has that hook on cooldown, so not able to do that. You said a misplay by the bot lane.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shockwave comes on. Hang on a sec. Too much fighting for us to do any analysis. Royal is going to get out of that actually. As Blitzblades and Sean kind of batter away at each other.
Right, if the players are done interrupting me now.
We'll see as Blitzblades actually does get more damage, but yeah, were they too far pushed up there? I didn't catch what the position on the minimap was.
They saw the Alistar out of lane, and they saw Grim come forward, so they instantly threw the Nautilus ulti on it, thinking they could maybe get a quick pick, but Alistar was just in the river bush right there. On top of that, Lissandra and Sion both have TPs. You can't be going for aggressive plays when there's 2 TPs on the map in a coordinated game. Otherwise, you're bound to get punished like that.
Yeah, there you go. And Casually Reformed exactly taking advantage of what you just said. So really nice heads-up play by them. But as you say, a little more map awareness required by TSS in order to really get an advantage in this lane. Blitzblades you see out of mana up there. Oh, there is a potential engage. No, Hypoconic thinks better of it. The Trundle has the Sheen picked up already. He's kind of going for damage there, and he did get the kill, or he did get the flash earlier. So maybe he feels strong enough to not build any tanky stats. Wheelie now waiting in the wings, and he gets a nice chunk of damage onto Royal, but not interested in going for more there, as Shockwave was not available. So, like I said, Trundle a little mana hungry early on, so we'll see if he can maintain that. iDumDum taking a lot of damage. Lucian ult comes out, and he takes him down a little bit below half HP. Didn't have to blow anything there. See where Hypoconic wants to use this Rift Herald, if he can use it to maybe create some pressure around this Dragon, which is being started by Casually Reformed now. And they're gonna... The Sion ult gonna come in to zone them out. Looks like this Dragon's gonna go down for free. Unless they want to go for some sort of Hail Mary engage, but they do not. The zoning stun area from Ekko, I'm terrible at remembering ability names, comes in that choke point. And flame me in chat if you know that name of that ability, and I don't. That's fair enough. No more than I was getting flamed when I played Sejuani against Casually Reformed last week, but here comes the engage from Lucian.
It is.
And iDumDum actually gets stunned under tower. Really nice play there by Zero Urge, our player to watch for Casually Reformed, living up to his name. Zero, I don't know where I was going with that, but they are going for VirtualBoxs. They take him down. Grim has gotten pretty low here, but as Hypoconic goes for the re-engage, he gets caught by JaDe. Beautiful coordination once again from Casually Reformed. JaDe's going to get this, and yet one shot from that empowered auto attack is going to take Hypoconic down. A dominant early game coming in from Casually Reformed.
You can tell Team Solo Simp wasn't listening to the pre-game analysis that we were giving. We were saying it was very volatile, and you have to, for the bot lane, you have to, move with your power spikes. But not doing that. They thought, I guess they could fight. They could take the fight, but they're pretty far behind at this point. And with the Alistar jumping into an Alistar is never what you want to do. That character does like 500 damage per combo for some reason.
Yeah, it's crazy. And as Grim going for a bad recall right there, not advisable to recall in that position, as he does once again get jumped. VirtualBoxs flash had just come off cooldown, and Grim maybe getting a little too big for his britches does actually manage to give away a kill there, and they are going to get first turret out of this actually. So really nice turnaround there by TSS, as they're able to take advantage of, a little bit of overconfidence potentially from Grim on that Lucian, recalling in a position he really should not have been.
Well, that's exactly what Stefano was talking about with the volatility of that bot lane. Nautilus and Tristana can get on you from so far away. You just can't go back in that spot.
Yeah. No matter how fed you are, and you do see even with the kills, even with the lack of item bought by VirtualBoxs at the beginning of the game, still pretty much dead even in CS for that bot lane. So very impressive by iDumDum. We complimented him in previous games as well for his play on Tristana, and he's been able to keep up the farm, he's been able to get that damage, and now they have gotten the kill onto Lucian. So signs of life here from TSS. As we see everybody sort of back off. Still a lot of power for Casually Reformed, as you can see Zero Urge feeling confident enough to go way up in the jungle there. The ultimate from Sion comes down. Wheelie tries his best to get out of there, but 5-man gank coming in, and Sion, you can't get away from that. Trundle Pillar not available to stop that particular ultimate, and they're gonna get their mid lane turret out of that kill. So just such a nice play, and man, it must be brutal to play against this. It's like 4 or 5-man ganks in every lane, just running the gamut.
Wheelie was just minding his own business. Wheelie hasn't left lane in 15 minutes. Why are they attacking him? He's just having a good time, and everyone just runs at him. There's nothing he can do.
Sean, what did Wheelie ever do to you to deserve that 5-man stomp? As you can see, the hook almost lands, and I'm just looking at the difference in farm. Royal clearing out that wave there. A large wave against Blitzblades, who I was going to mention is way ahead in farm, but he does get CC'd by the Alistar. Uses the ultimate. Is he going to be able to get away with the extra resistances? No! Zero Urge's last tick of the Ignite takes him down, and Grim managing to put enough damage even onto that super tanky Trundle there. And they're going to get a turret out of that, though they have to trade it from mid lane. And no matter how many CS Trundle is up on Sion, still not able to deal with that Blade of the Ruined King Lucian, which is a very good first item into this particular team.
No, yeah, that seems like a classic example of not looking at the opponent's items before fighting them. Yeah. Lucian with the Bork is going to mess you up no matter how much total HP and how much armor you have. That is a lot of % health damage. You cannot tango with that.
Exactly, especially as you can see Trundle with just sort of a junkyard of items sitting in his inventory, looking for that Trinity Force, but even on that forced recall there by the death, not able to complete that item. So definitely it hasn't reached any sort of power spike like you were talking about before. You want to move with those. You want to wait until you know you've got some sort of extra strength on your opponent, and Blitzblade's definitely not able to do that. But he is well ahead in farm on the Sion, and his late game potential definitely strong. So we have another engage on Wheelie. Shockwave comes in, nice CC there, but it's 4 members again. Come on, man. Wheelie is just not able to do anything. And really nice once again by Casually Reformed, who may be able to leverage that kill into another dragon. So that's 3. That's going to be the 3rd dragon for them. Cloud Soul is going to be on deck with the next dragon coming in there. So
now, it seems to me that Casually Reformed has put a priority on getting dragons. I'm asking this question partially for me because my macro honestly ain't that great, but also for the chat. What kind of team comp is going to want to try to get those dragons?
So this is a Cloud Soul, and sorry, let me just, I just had an issue with my screen.
Well, now they're getting Rift Herald as well, so who knows what's, I mean, they're kind of taking everything, but it seems like they're prioritizing it, so.
So the Cloud Soul in particular gives you out of combat movement speed, and it gives you extra movement speed when you ultimate. And so who we're really looking for to utilize this spell is Lucian. He is able to use his ultimate. He gets that extra boost of movement speed and able to keep up with you and keep those auto attacks going. As Sion going to be able to get out of this? Oh, that have you ever seen a Nautilus ultimate go that far? Depth charge going way, way deeper than he expected, and not being able to get into that Sion.
Sion yells cowards as he runs away.
Yeah, that's always my favorite thing. How often would you say, what's the percentage of that being used to run away and that being used to engage?
It's gotta be 90.
It's got to be way more. He's got to be yelling cowards way more hypocritically than aptly in that situation, as you do see. Yeah,
he's actually just insulting the player the whole time.
Yeah, it's true. He's whenever you press it, he's like, "Wait, what? Coward!"
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good theory there. Wheelie gets engaged on again. Are they gonna have enough damage? JaDe does get stunned up there, but so Wheelie, pardon me, does get stunned up there. Sion not able to yell cowards this time. Does have the flash available though. Gets away. He is really tanky, and they're not going to be able to apply enough damage yet. Tristana does have that Infinity Edge completed. Does have a Zeal, but you want to wait till that rapid fire cannon before you're going to really see a lot of damage coming out of that Tristana. You can get your auto attack started a little sooner, get that extra damage there from the passive. Zero Urge coming in to engage on Hypoconic, who quickly runs away, as you would do. You were that Jarvan against this Alistar.
You can tell Casually Reformed really got into Wheelie's head. Wheelie is rushing a second item Zhonya's on Orianna, and that feels so bad because there is one person on the other team that does attack damage.
Exactly.
He just needs the stasis because apparently everyone is just going to run at him the whole game. You can tell you really want to inspire that fear in the enemy team. You know, it's not just that they'll take all the objectives, it's that they'll run at you and there's nothing you can do about it as well.
Yeah, and he's going to sacrifice damage, as you say, to rush that. So definitely a good observation there, as he has the stopwatch ready now, so hopefully may be able to use that very powerful item to bait in a fight that potentially Casually Reformed don't want. But they are going to now sort of work vision around the Baron. Both of these teams, that they're not looking to do Baron anytime soon, I wouldn't imagine, unless if there is a team wipe randomly at some point, but I don't expect that to happen. But they do want to get vision around here, as the next dragon, not for quite a while. So we do see JaDe trying to clear out vision here. Hypoconic. They do get a bunch of damage on him. He goes down without even being able to use the ultimate. Really nice catch out there from TSS. And is this going to be their cue to go on the Baron? Still pretty strong members of Alive for Casually Reformed, and yeah, they're not able to, they don't like their chances going for that Baron. But a really nice catch there onto JaDe.
Smart to back off there. If they didn't back off, Casually Reformed was just going to run down mid lane. You saw the pings going down. It would have just ended up taking the inhib and probably a Nexus tower for it.
Yeah.
And now we see Dragon spawning within the next minute. So I'm thinking that's going to be the next objective here. It's going to be soul point for the side of Casually Reformed, having 3 dragons in their possession already, and already setting a lot of vision in that blue side jungle around the dragon.
Yeah, good work by Casually Reformed there. They've had total control of this map pretty much from the word go. Only a few actions of relent from TSS, as they were able to get a couple of kills. Both did go on to iDumDum, which is very strong. You can see putting a little damage onto the Alistar, but even with that rapid fire cannon, so hard to do damage to that tanky dude with the Gargoyle Stoneplate already completed. Pardon me. And Tristana also does have a bit of a bounty on her head. So she is she's going to be the one you want to focus as Casually Reformed. It looks like they may be giving up this dragon for the Baron. Interesting move. I think the Cloud Soul is so powerful, and I'm not sure about this play, but they are going to go for the Baron, and looks like it will be a pretty clean trade. But the teleport came in from the Lissandra. They are going to go for this, and yeah, they don't have enough damage. The engage comes in. Outnumbered are the members of Casually Reformed right now. Let's see if they can take down Sion. He did cast the ultimate and ran into a brick wall of VirtualBoxs, but his passive going to go down, and now the cavalry has arrived. Lissandra coming in. Shockwave comes out, doesn't hit anyone. Goes golden here. JaDe doing so much damage in the backline. JaDe finally takes down VirtualBoxs. Royal does so much damage. Hypoconic now going down, and Blitzblades, the last man standing almost for the that team, that Trundle doing so much damage here, and iDumDum actually doing so much damage as well. It looks like TSS is going to come out in front on this team fight, and that was so crazy. It did not look like they were coming out in front of that at all. But beautiful plays there, really nicely played team fight, and looked like just the target focus was right for TSS, and they managed to keep that Tristana safe.
Weird fight to take for Kaji Reformed. Like, if you're gonna trade Baron for Dragon Soul, that's fine. Trade Baron for Dragon Soul, but Sion died early and they still went for the engage. That's next time, just leave the Sion to die, or even just and just back up. You don't need to go for a 4-on-5 after the Sion dies. You have Dragon Soul. You already won.
Yeah, exactly. Why not just take the objective and run? And they could have easily dealt with that Baron buff, as very few towers have even gone down on their side. But they do manage to stop the Baron, so potentially they feel that was worth it. I tend to agree. I'm not sure it was, but now they are interested in fighting themselves on more even footing, where they don't have to come in all one at a time. So we'll see. They are putting a decent amount of damage onto this Baron, but it's going pretty slowly. And you do see Zero Urge getting caught out. VirtualBoxs didn't want to take that hook as he went pretty far away and potentially prevented himself from being able to engage, as the Baron buff now almost available, but low health bars here on Casually Reformed. Is this another engage here from Team Solo Simp? Sion takes a lot of damage in the back line. Huge shockwave coming in from Wheelie. So much damage going down. iDumDum being able to clean up the fight. That is Grim and Zero Urge running away with their tails tucked between their legs. They do take the blast cone. Is Zero Urge going to go down? He doesn't have flash available. VirtualBoxs is now able to stun him up, and he goes down as well. That is a 4-for-1 in the favor of TSS. What a beautiful team fight from them. Such a nice shockwave there from Wheelie. They're going to take the Baron.
Wow, and another unnecessary fight taken by Casually Reformed. They had the head start on the Baron, but I think if they just left it and postured around it instead of trying to go for the finish, they would have maybe had an advantage, but instead going with half HP bars on 3 of their members. I'm not sure what they're thinking for that team fight.
Exactly. JaDe took so much damage there from the Baron already, and I believe it was Royal who took a bunch of damage as well, and so they were not in the position to fight when TSS showed up. They couldn't do the Baron quickly enough. Lucian definitely, with the Blade of the Ruined King, able to do some, but nobody else on that team really able to do a meaningful amount of damage to the Baron. So it's kind of Lucian just hacking away at it, as TSS was able to make use of that. And I just got to mention one more time, just an incredible shockwave from Wheelie, getting 4 members of the enemy team doing so much damage. You can see even with that Zhonya's, looks like, I'm not sure if he did have this completed, but he now has the Oblivion Orb, which is a very powerful damage item in its own right against that magic resist. And Wheelie just completely turns the tide of that fight. And this isn't even his main role. So when we get into these these next few games in this series, we're going to have to see, can he have that same kind of impact playing his even more comfortable picks ADC? Because I'm loving his Orianna play. He really is getting the job done here.
Yeah, and you can definitely see Casually Reformed definitely starting to panic after that first teamfight loss around the Baron. They tried to force Baron, even though they were actually 1,000 gold behind. So if they played more patient, they could have had the game go all the way. But panicking in the middle of the game and going for the desperation play is really going to cost them here as JaDe gets caught out.
He does manage to pull the ultimate from JaDe, who actually has to ultimate and then flash over the wall, but does manage to get away. So that's a good escape from him. And like we said, they still do have Dragon Soul available, does Casually Reformed. And Cloud Soul is nothing to sniff at, especially with no dragons taken at all on the side of TSS. So will that early game pressure they were able to exert, will that cause them to be able to stem the flow of this Tristana's damage that is just scaling up and up? And as we know, the range of Tristana increases with her level. And so as she goes through the game, she becomes more powerful, she becomes safer, and she gains the ability to hit from further away and hit more champions. And so We really have been seeing that these past couple fights. You see a 600 gold bounty on the Tristana, 4-2 and 3 already. Has picked up a Quicksilver Sash to deal with the crowd control, and particularly from that Lissandra. So iDumDum definitely the one to watch in these future plays.
Mm-hmm. Never mind, will the early game be able to hold off the Tristana? Tristana's already, like, for a back of a letter term, not being held on to right now.
Yeah, exactly.
iDumDum is wild right now. He's gonna be able to shred the entire team.
Here's an engage. Wheelie has already taken down JaDe. Zero Urge taking a lot of damage, has popped the ultimate. Now Grim on the backline, not able to do enough damage. There you see the damage from iDumDum. Royal goes golden. Sion with the Sion trying to zone them away, and they're doing so much damage to Royal. No other protection tools available. Zero Urge now going to go down. iDumDum is popping off again, baby. Sion goes down one more time. The ace comes in from Team Solo Simp, and they are going to be able to get the Elder Dragon off of that fight.
Man, this guy's making me want to play Tristana every game. This is he is truly inspiring on this champion right now, and looking at his OPGG, he has one game played on Tristana. He won it. He has one game.
Maybe he's pulling out something from a previous season. We do see Tristana did recently get buffed. Her explosive charge recently had its power increased, and so definitely you're seeing some more Tristana, because of course that is her bread and butter spell, that explosive charge. She is able to apply so much AoE, but yeah, just such nice plays. And with a team like this, I mentioned it in Champ Select, the engage potential, the ability for them to apply all this crowd control, all the tools they have to team fight, I just think are so powerful and so good to answer what Casually Reformed has brought to the table. And so even with an early game deficit, they still managed to get iDumDum to this late game dream with Tristana, as 3 items now completed in addition to that Quicksilver Sash and a stopwatch. So hard to kill this Tristana, being able to jump away like that as well. So now they are posturing in the mid lane, and we'll see what they want to do next. They basically have total control, and they have reversed the scales on this match.
The worst part was, it's not even just the Tristana that's a huge problem now. You also have Trundle, who's like 60 CS up, 2 items completed, now starting to build tank stats. Sion, so nice of him, built both armor and MR for the Trundle to steal at the same time. Trundle's also going to be a huge issue now on top of that. Sion roamed so much of the early to mid game. You know, you saw, we made jokes about it, but him running mid lane against Wheelie, running bot lane, those plays are all fine as long as you just accept that Trundle is going to scale better and going to scale harder if you do those plays. And now it's coming to fruition. Trundle is scaling so hard. He's going to be a huge issue to deal with on top of iDumDum on Tristana.
Yeah, and it feels necessary to build those 2 items because the damage profile is so split. But Trundle just says, thanks, bro. I'll take those resistances. Now the damage going down onto Sion. Grim caught up in the back line, takes down without even firing a shot. Now Ekko taken down as well. Zero Urge very tanky in the bot side. Health bar is getting low now. Is this tower dive too much? Hypoconic with a double kill though, and now they've taken down every single member of Casually Reformed. That is Sion just running away with the passive down, and that is going to be the ace once again from TSS. They're just waiting for a wave now. They're going to be able to push this turret. They all totally stopped moving for a second there. I was like, oh, what happened for a second? But they do take down the inhibitor. This is going to be the game, guys. There's no way. The death timers are too long. Hypoconic with just a sliver of HP going to be able to help them finish this off. And Team Solo Simp is going to go 1-0 in this series.
iDumDum still at full health after a fight. You saw him the whole fight over the wall, just free hitting people.
Yeah.
Just for the
just for the KDA.
Yeah, exactly.